Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm here with Kevin Sly, the Acting Regional Administrator for FEMA, with Senator Dick Durbin, and we'll be joined virtually by Senator Tammy Duckworth shortly. Illinois Department of Public Health Director Ngozi Ezike, Illinois Emergency Management Agency Director Alicia Tate Nadeau, our Adjutant General of the Illinois National Guard, Major General Rich Neely, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and Cook County President Tony Preckwinkle, CDPH Commissioner Allison Arwady, and our Cook County Health CEO Israel Rocha Jr. Today, I'm very proud to announce that in collaboration with our federal partners, we will be launching a new mass vaccination site at the United Center that will begin operating on March 10th and will be open to appointments by anyone in our state. This makes Illinois the 5th state to benefit from this high-volume federal investment. The United Center is one of the best locations for vaccinating large numbers of people in America. It's easy to get to, it's in the midst of a medically underserved community, it can handle large crowds, and is well known to everyone in Illinois. And what's more, this site doesn't take away from our existing vaccine shipments, but instead brings additional vaccine doses into our state directly from the federal government and outside of our regular state and city allotments. That's something that every Illinoisan should applaud. All of our state's residents will have access to the United Center, which will be open to expanded Phase 1B plus populations. That includes high-risk conditions. I'm deeply grateful to the Biden-Harris administration. They worked closely with us to bring a high-capacity site to one of the most accessible and important locations in America. And I'm particularly proud that we've worked together to prioritize seniors in this process. In the coming days, we'll be announcing an advance sign-up period which will allow seniors 65 and older to have exclusive early access to the first batch of vaccination appointments. Thanks to FEMA, the United Center is just our most recent among a growing number of state-supported mass vaccination locations for our residents. To date, the Illinois National Guard has launched 15 state-supported sites, including locations in Springfield and Rockford, Carbondale, and Metro East, and that's on top of mass vaccination sites operated by our 97 local public health departments, like at the Malcolm X College here in the city of Chicago. Already, Illinois has administered more than 2.5 million doses to our residents, including at least the first dose of the vaccine to about 1 in 7 Illinoisans. Cases, hospitalizations, and deaths from COVID-19 have been falling, and Illinois remains a national leader in testing. Our COVID-19 metrics are near an all-time low. In just the first 5 weeks of this new administration, the White House has nearly doubled the weekly supply of doses coming to states via direct shipments and other programs like the federal retail pharmacy program. And based on public commitments from the federal government and from vaccine manufacturers, Illinois expects to receive an average shipments of at least 100,000 doses per day by mid-March. And we've administered more than 100,000 doses in each of the last 2 days, including what we're reporting for yesterday. So it's clear that our vaccination infrastructure is ready as soon as those increases come. About a year ago, the United Center was hosting PPE drives and serving as a supportive warehouse, helping the Greater Chicago Food Depository provide meals for tens of thousands who are out of work and in need of help. Less than 2 weeks from now, it will serve as a mass vaccination site, once again alleviating the burden on tens of thousands of Illinoisans and moving us that much closer to putting this pandemic to an end. I hope you're feeling what I'm feeling, and it's hope. Things are getting better. Someday, not too far from now, we'll be at the United Center, not for a life-saving shot, but for a game-winning shot. In the meantime, mask up, keep helping each other out, and we will get through this together. So thank you, and with that, I'll turn it over to Kevin Sly, who's doing a terrific job as our acting regional administrator for FEMA Region 5. Kevin?
Thank you, Governor Pritzker. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us as we announce the opening of a new COVID-19 vaccination center to further expand equitable vaccine access across the Chicagoland area. I'm proud to say this is a true whole-of-government effort. I want to first recognize the support of the Biden and Harris administration and thank Governor Pritzker, IEMA Director Alicia Tate Nadeau, Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle, and Mayor Lori Lightfoot, along with many of our federal partners at HHS, CDC, DOD, and others who have come together to make this site a reality. FEMA will be providing a federal personnel, financial assistance, and equipment and supplies for the site at a 100% federal cost share at the United Center. In addition, vaccines for this center are being provided to the state above and beyond the regular allocations and will not affect the supply of ongoing vaccine distribution efforts here in Illinois. FEMA and the entire federal family is committed to supporting Illinois' efforts to expand vaccine access and to ensure everyone that needs a shot or wants a shot will get a shot. So I'd like to leave you with this normal caption that we say at FEMA: the United Center will be a federally supported, state-managed, and locally executed evolution to support all of the citizens of Illinois and the Chicagoland area. So thank you for my ability to opportunity to make comments, and I'd like to introduce Senator Durbin. Senator Durbin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sly. Governor Pritzker, Mayor Lightfoot, President Preckwinkle, it's an honor to be here. Before I make my statement, I want to give a special shout out to the Illinois National Guard. They're part of this effort, and we're proud of them for doing it. And I want to make note that many of your members of the Guard are in Washington protecting me during the week. They are doing great work and are away from their families, and we appreciate so much what they do over and over again. So please, thank you, and let everyone in the Guard know how much we appreciate the work they're doing. There's not been a lot of good COVID news for a long, long time. Our nation has suffered over 500,000 deaths. We've lost over 20,000 in Illinois. These are moms and dads and siblings and neighbors and grandparents and children. And the racial disparity in this pandemic is horrible, which has sadly always been present in our healthcare system, but even more so now. Communities of colors are more likely to contract coronavirus, more likely to get seriously ill, more likely to die as a result of it. Yet they still have lower access and lower rate access to help and lower rates of vaccination. But we're starting to see glimmers of hope, as the governor said. We are hoping that we can move forward with a new vaccine as soon as next week. That rollout may be a positive one, and I think it will be. And since taking office 6 weeks ago, President Biden has accepted reality. He has faced this challenge directly, and he's talking to the American people honestly about it. Since he took office 6 weeks ago, he has overseen a 68% increase in vaccine allotments to our state. More is on the way. But we are hardly in the clear. New mutations of this virus are being detected every day. We are truly in a race against time to get people vaccinated before this virus mutates even further. That's why today's announcement is so welcome. The federal government, partnering with the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago, is establishing a new community vaccination center to get shots in the arms of Chicago area residents. This center will be capable of vaccinating 6,000 people a day in some of our hardest hit communities. Consider this: the recent study found that vaccination rates in Chicago's majority Black or Latinx zip codes averaged 5%. Majority white zip codes, 13%. We've got to do better. This community vaccination center and its location, which will be open in March 10th, it will help us get there. This came about as a result of an appropriation last December. You hear if you even pay attention, you hear all the conversations in Washington about all the billions and trillions of dollars, and you must stop and ask yourself once in a while, will we ever see any of that in Illinois? Is there any evidence that that money is going to make it here and make a difference? This is evidence of it. The $800 million invested here was part of a $900 billion bill we passed just a few weeks ago in December. And more help is on the way if Congress responds favorably to President Biden's request. He's asked for $1.9 trillion more. The number one item on that is vaccines and distribution of vaccines. So I want the people, of course, there's the cash payment to families, which is important. But I want people to realize that what we are debating now in the American Rescue Plan is even more investment in vaccines and distribution centers just like this one. The faster we can get people vaccinated, the more quickly we can escape the grip that this pandemic has had on our nation for so long, the less likely we're going to see mutations and variations, which we have to fight in different ways. So I'm urging Chicago, roll up your sleeve, show up at the United Center, get vaccinated, and do it quickly. It's up to you, and you can make a real difference. I want to thank all the partners today, and I especially want to thank the lady I'm about to introduce. She and I seem to get together and work on so many issues that really relate to health. And I'm really grateful, President Preckwinkle, for your leadership in so many areas, and glad you're with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator. Thank you very much, Senator, and good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm pleased to be here today for this important announcement. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge those who've joined us. Thank you very much, Governor Pritzker. Thank you very much, Senator Durbin. And I have to take a moment here to thank Senator Durbin. He was strongly supportive of our efforts when we went to Washington to secure a waiver under the Affordable Care Act to begin providing care to people in our health and hospital system. And I really appreciate it. We couldn't have done it without you, so thank you very much. Senator Duckworth, I think, will be joining us virtually. Mayor Lightfoot, FEMA Region 5 Administrator Kevin Sly, thank you. I too want to acknowledge Major General Richard Neely and his folks. I've been to a number of our vaccination sites, our mass vaccination site in Tinley Park, our sites in our clinics, our sites at South Suburban College, Thornton Fractional South. We've been helped everywhere and always by the National Guard, so thank you very much. We're grateful. I also want to acknowledge Israel Rocha, who's head of our health and hospital system, Michael Albert, who's our sign language interpreter. Michael, who else is with you? And Mark Motika, thank you very much. Thank you both. I want to thank all of you for your support for our efforts to move forward with our vaccine pilot program. I'm proud to be standing here today to announce the United Center is the next mass vaccination site right here in Cook County, which will prioritize access for seniors and equity for our hardest hit populations. I'm a grandparent, and too many grandparents haven't seen their grandchildren or their children in almost a year now. Friends haven't hugged their loved ones. The stories are endless, and the isolation has taken a terrible toll on all of us. And while there's much left to do, this site helps all of us get one step closer to a sense of normalcy. Of course, this would not be possible without a presidential administration that values equity and efficiency in our COVID-19 recovery efforts. Thank you to President Biden, Vice President Harris, and their teams for their leadership and partnership in this historic effort. We stand committed to the Biden administration's goal of providing 100 million vaccines in the first 100 days. It's a little less than a third of our population. We're also committed to an equitable distribution of the vaccine, targeting our seniors and communities that have been most disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. I don't have to tell you that the need is great, especially for our seniors and our brown and black populations, which have been disproportionately impacted. We're fully aware of the devastating impacts that the coronavirus has had on our vulnerable communities. Let me say again that we're viewing our vaccine programs, like this pilot program, through an equity lens in order to restore the communities that have been hardest hit and to allow residents to return to normal life as soon as possible. I'm proud of the work being done to expand equitable access to the COVID-19 vaccine for the residents of Cook County and throughout the state. And this is another example of how we will not stop until we get shots into the arms of our residents who continue to wait patiently to see the light at the end of this pandemic. For our seniors, for our communities all throughout Chicago, Cook County, and the state, deserve to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Today, that sliver of light got just a little bit brighter. Thank you. Now I'd like to bring to the podium the Mayor of the City of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot.
For those of us who are a little vertically challenged, you have to have a little booster. Thank you very much, President Preckwinkle, for that introduction and really for your partnership and energy and your team have given and continue to give in protecting Cook County's 5 million residents. I also want to extend our heartfelt thanks to our other partners in this venture. Of course, our great governor, Governor Pritzker, General Tate Nadeau from IEMA, Illinois National Guard, Colonel Neely, and head of Illinois Public Health, Dr. Ngazi. Thank you so much. You all have been fearless warriors on behalf of our state, and we are extremely grateful. Thank you, Senator Durbin and Senator Duckworth, who have been incredible allies to us in Washington and made sure that Illinois voices are heard. And finally, FEMA Region Administrator Kevin Sly, thank you so much for being here and for making this date possible. This is a day important for our residents. We here in Chicago are extremely proud of our vaccine accomplishments. We're not only getting over 90% of our vaccines into the arms of residents within 1 week of receiving them, but thanks to our equitable vaccine strategy and initiatives like Protect Chicago Plus, half of the vaccines administered are now being given to Chicagoans of color, a huge improvement over our early days. As we just heard, the new United Center will be vaccinating 6,000 people a day. That is a significant number, increasing our current capacity level by over 40%. And with this first appointments available exclusively for seniors 65 and older. And I want to pause there for a moment and point something out. We have approximately 250,000 seniors here in Chicago who have yet to get their first dose. And when you take in the entirety of Cook County, that number jumps to nearly 500,000. We want to get those seniors vaccinated as fast as humanly possible. And we'll get more details on registration this next week. But what's important now is getting the word out to our seniors, to their friends, to their families about this unique opportunity to get seniors vaccinated. Chicago's already building a transportation support plan to get our seniors to the United Center. And this includes Uber stepping up, providing rides to bring them there. And on top of that, we'll be partnering with ZocDoc to sign our seniors up online. But we still need to do more. That's why we're calling on everyone to get our seniors signed up when this registration opens later this week, and then help them get to the United Center when it's time for their appointment. We need moms, dads, grandma, grandpas, your neighbor, your auntie, your mother's cousin, anybody who can lend a hand to our seniors. We need to get them there, and we need to get them vaccinated. Let's call this our SOS moment. Support our seniors. We'll continue to be committed to our all-important citywide equity strategy, but we need to also focus in these next few weeks on supporting our seniors. This is our SOS call to action for them. We need to make this a game-changing moment for our seniors, and the reason why is really simple. Based on the data, we know that when an older person, the older the person is, the higher the risk is for them. even without the underlying comorbidities. So the bottom line here, folks, is we need to prevent COVID deaths by vaccinating seniors, pure and simple. And with sites like these opening up across the country, our nation is taking a major step forward in our recovery journey. And it goes without saying that none of this would be possible without the work of President Biden, Vice President Harris, and the entire Biden-Harris administration. This, folks, is what presidential leadership looks like. Bold, collaborative, and science-based. Now, we all know this to be true. These past 11 months have been very difficult on everyone. We have all been carrying a substantial burden, and we have been through a lot as a city, as a state, and as a nation. But thanks to the work of countless government and healthcare workers, along with business, community leaders, and everyday residents, we have done our job to blunt the spread of this horrible, deadly virus. And we've delivered supports desperately needed to keep our families and businesses afloat in this very difficult time. And now, thanks to this new site, we'll be able to take that success to a whole new level. You know, people ask me all the time, what's it like, Mayor, dealing with the new Biden administration? And what I always say is, it's like a breath of fresh air. Senator Durbin is right. When that bill was passed in December to provide the supports that were necessary, it was with the thought that we were going to be entering into a new era, a new partnership with a new Biden-Harris administration that understands the importance of listening, of being collaborative, and making sure that they're supporting cities and states and focusing on the things that we need based upon our articulation of what those needs are. This is a new day and an important day, and we have to give thanks where thanks is due, which is to President Biden, Vice President Harris, and their teams. In closing, I also want to thank the United Center team, Jerry Reinsdorf and Rocky Wirtz and their respective teams. As the governor said, throughout this pandemic, they have stepped up in really important ways. From being a center where we could pass out and store PPE and other necessary items. They were a super site for voting over the fall, and I think had the most people pass through on Election Day of any site in the city. And they came to us weeks ago at the initiation of the county to step up again and say, Mayor, County President, Governor, how can we help? So a great debt of thanks needs to go to the Reinsdorf and the Wirtz families and the entire United Center team. But let's focus again on making sure that we are out there every single day supporting our seniors and getting them signed up for these life-saving vaccines. And with that, I will turn it back over to Governor Pritzker. Thank you. I know I do. I may take that back.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and I want to take this opportunity to introduce somebody who needs no introduction, but she has been a terrific partner at the federal level. What Senator Durbin said about the work that's been done in Washington, D.C. for the state of Illinois is shared by this leader, somebody who truly every day has stepped up for the people of the state of Illinois, and in the effort to get the resources that are necessary for us to be able to do all of what we're talking about today, she truly has stepped up and done her part. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce a statement by Senator Tammy Duckworth.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. This past year has been full of impossible days. Mornings rife with tragedy, afternoons filled with families being forced to say goodbye, nights marked by too many tears and too much horror. But today, with the announcement of a federally supported mass vaccination site at the United Center, we're taking another important step towards making those awful days a part of our past, a step towards making sure that unlike 2020, this year is filled with more hope than heartbreak. Senator Durbin and I worked closely with the Biden administration to help bring this facility to Chicago. And I'm so thankful for the support of Governor Pritzker, Mayor Lightfoot, and Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle in making this site a reality. to make it possible for thousands more Illinoisans to be vaccinated here every single day, including Illinoisans in the hardest hit and under-vaccinated communities. Let's just take a second to think about the effects that that will actually have. That means that every day, thousands of mothers and fathers, daughters and sons will be better protected against the awful impacts of this virus. Single moms will be safer, more sure of being around tomorrow and the tomorrow after that to take care of their young children. Teachers will be able to more safely, effectively educate our children. Frontline workers, from the heroes sweeping our hospitals at night to the folks stocking the aisles of our supermarkets during the day, will be able to clock in more confident that their livelihoods won't cost them their lives. And the communities hardest hit by this virus will actually be able to get the shots they need when they need them. Because seniors and Black and brown Illinoisans need our support, need and deserve our help. We still have a long way to go to beat this virus, to come out on the other side, to return to any sort of normal life like what we were used to just 12 months ago. But in this moment, I'm feeling hopeful, and everyone else should too, because today we're helping prove that Illinoisans are tougher than this virus, that it is possible to get through these impossible times when we work with each other and for one another. Thank you again for having me. I'm so glad to be a part of this very important announcement. Thank you.
Well, thanks to Senator Duckworth.